All right, next one. Okay, for the 17th time today, I love this timeline. My boyfriend refuses to divorce his wife unless. Now, just the first sentence in and of itself is a problem. My boyfriend refuses to divorce his wife. Okay, then maybe you shouldn't be dating a married man. The girlfriend. You're just a side chick. You're just a side chick. My boyfriend refuses to divorce his ex unless I pay for it. Okay, so this woman, she says it's divorce his ex. That's what she says, but it's not his ex if he's still divorced or if he's still married to this woman. But here's the best sentence out of all of it. This is the best sentence out of all of it. She says, is this relationship worth saving? I've said this before. I'll say it again. Women, they would rather share a winner than tie their sails, their hitch to someone they assume is average or only slightly better than average. They'd rather share a winner. This woman wants the winner to himself, and he's not bailing on it. And now she has to go so far to say, is this relationship worth saving? Margaret Asher is an occupational therapist, LA, who hosts a podcast, Two Takes. Okay, so I guess this is somebody that called in or wrote into her podcast asking for advice. She says, I'm a 39-year-old female, and my boyfriend is a 33-year-old male. So she's dating down 7 years. Let me just guess. If this guy, he's probably just, she's probably just a side piece, and he's been lying to her. She said, we've been together for 5 years. There are a few things I can't handle and have voiced my opinion on, but I get called crazy or just get ignored. Communication for us has been minimal for the past 2 years or so. Okay, let me pause you right there. Ma'am, you're a pump and dump for him. You're just being used. And he's 6 years younger than you, and he doesn't even talk to you. But again, maybe he's really good looking. Maybe he throws the D down really well, and he keeps just giving her lies. So, but here's what's funny. She says, I can't handle these things, and I've voiced my opinion on it, and I get called crazy or ignored, and communication for us has been minimal over the last 2 years. Yet somehow she's still like, so how can I make this work? She says he's still married to his ex. While he has promised a divorce, he refuses to get one now unless I pay for it. He and I are intimate 3 times a month, and only when he wants to.
Just makes common sense.
What a great deal for him. Of course he's going to just... That's my new Fauci button I just downloaded. I had to get that one. Of course, he sleeps with you when he wants 3 times a month. He's still married to his ex. She ain't an ex. And he refuses to get one unless you pay for it. You know what? He'll probably take that money and he'll either divorce his wife or he'll just take that money and run. What has recently made me upset. Okay, let me just pause it right there. Okay, so he's done all these awful things. He only sleeps with me when he wants to, which is 3 times a month. He lies to me. He ignores me. We only communicate when he wants to sleep with me. He is an awful human being. And then she says, what has recently made me upset and is my last straw. Okay. It took you that long to come around? This is a woman that doesn't think very highly of herself, or he's, Alpha Chad, and she's 39, and she's holding on to him like he's the last bastion of hope to have a guy. What's recently made me upset and is my last straw is that he decided he wanted to take some time off for his birthday. So he said, I do not want to spend time with you for my birthday. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm dating somebody, if I'm dating somebody and I'm married, I'd be getting birthday gifts from my wife and my girlfriend probably, getting birthday cake and birthday BJs from both of them. I would milk it up, literally. But if he's, for his birthday, is like, I don't want to be around you, he wants to take some time off, that probably means he's going to see family with his wife. He's going to be out of town, and like he's not going to be around for his birthday. And he's just like, I'll just tell her I'm going to take time off instead of I can't be around you because I'm going to be with family and my wife. She says, I'm not mad that he wants to go and do something alone for his birthday. Oh, this woman has such low self-esteem. I'm not mad that he wants to go do something alone for his birthday. I'm more upset that he didn't ask if I was doing anything for him, which I always do. And I didn't ask if I wanted to go. I'm mad that he can take time off for his own birthday, but I can't take time off for my birthday or our anniversary. The past 2 years, he's done nothing for both my birthday or anniversary. Am I wrong for being mad? Okay. Let me just say this for a minute. I know we goof on women a lot. I feel now after reading this, I did not read this. I read the headline in like the first segment. I feel really bad for this woman. I really do. And I'll tell you why. Because there are men that are the same way. I've had emails from some of you guys. I've had messages from people that find themselves in this position. And I'll be honest, it does break my heart. It breaks my heart. Because people get taken advantage of. They're codependent. They're sweet, nice people that maybe do not have very high self-esteem. And so many times they feel lucky to have anybody that wants them. And you should never be in a position where you feel like you should feel lucky to have somebody want you. Everybody deserves somebody that really does want them and doesn't just use them and put them in this place. So I kind of feel bad for goofing on this woman right now. She needs, and you guys, any of you guys that feel like you're going through a similar situation than this, have some self-respect. She's asking if she's wrong for being mad at him because he treats her horribly and uses her and lies to her and manipulates her. And at the end of all that, she's like, am I wrong for being mad? Should I just shut up and take it? And I genuinely feel bad for this woman right now. But let's be honest. This is what happens when you don't grow up with a healthy family. Now, sometimes it can happen if you do have a healthy family. It can. But this more often than not happens when you grow up in an unhealthy family, and one especially that doesn't have a strong male role model. Because strong men put up with very little to zero crap. They just don't. They call it like it is. If they make a mistake, they man up and they say, you know what, I effed that up. That's my bad. That's on me. They take their lumps and then they move on. And that's one of the things that I learned from my father, that if I screwed something up, like if I broke a window in the house, if I was just playing out in the backyard and we threw a ball or something happened accidental and something broke, I didn't have to pay for it. But I do remember we had a 4-panel garage door and we had 2 of them. So it was a 2-car garage, but they were a little bit wider than your normal garage door because back in the 60s or 70s when they made my parents' house, they didn't compress everything to be super small. And what I was supposed to do is put the garage door up because the top panel was made out of glass. And I put the garage door up a couple feet so the glass had rolled behind the wall. And so there was just 3 panels of garage door. And I could be in the driveway. And I used to practice tennis because I wanted to be on the tennis team. And I'd practice tennis up against the garage door. And I'd just hit it and have it bounce off the garage door and come back to me. And one day I did not put the garage door up because I was tired. I never hit it high. I always seem to hit it low. And I was tired of having to run into the garage because by putting the garage up a little bit, it left a gap below the door to protect the windows. And I'd hit underneath it, and then I'd have to crawl down on my hands and knees and go into the garage, grab a couple of balls, come back out. And I said, you know what? I never hit high. I'm always hitting it under the door, so I'm going to leave the garage door down. Man, like 3 balls, boom, right into the glass. I broke it. I broke the rules. And my allowance, which I had to earn by mowing lawn and shoveling the driveway and et cetera, I had to pay for it out of my own money. I got punished, like real punishment, not just a timeout. It took me, I don't know, maybe 2 months worth of my allowance to pay that back. And there are many other situations where you get in trouble and you got to pay for it. One of which was my divorce. Bad decisions come with consequences. But today, young people are not being taught that accountability because everybody's a snowflake and you're special, and it's not your fault you're doing bad. It's the teacher's fault. It's not your fault you can't get the job you wanted. It's the college's fault for not, doing whatever. It's not your fault that you got in trouble. It's the police officer's fault. It's not your fault you can't get ahead because men, women, white, black, whatever. It's always somebody else's fault. No one takes accountability. This poor woman never had anybody teach her accountability and to hold other people to account and to have self-esteem and to love yourself. So I guess I kind of started this out off on a roast, and here I am sticking up for the poor woman. But like I do feel bad for her. I do. And I think the guy that's doing this to her he's an asshole. Like the guy that's doing this to her is an asshole and just lying to her and manipulating and doing this. And I know this is bad because I know there are many of you guys that have had this done to you. It probably happened to me when I was a young guy and I got love bombed and I thought, oh man, she really likes me. I just need to hang in there. I need to do better. If I can just do a little better, if I can just make her a little happier, if I can just, oh man, it'd be such a great relationship. And you get sucked into that. And it sounds like, yeah, so I kind of feel bad for her. So anyway, what's the advice they give her? The answer, you're not wrong for being mad, but my real question is, why are you staying with a partner that isn't meeting any of your basic relationship needs? Well, how about why are you staying with a partner that's married, maybe? You know something? Let me just pause right here. I take back everything I said about feeling bad for her. I take back everything I say about feeling bad for her. Why? She's dating a married man. And she knew he was married because he's been saying that he would ask for a divorce for the last however many years, 5 years or whatever it is. I retract all my sympathy for this woman. I retract it 100%. She should have never dated a married man, and you wouldn't be in this problem. Problem solved. Now, if she were just dating a guy, or again, some of you guys that have dated women that are like that, and you get manipulated, and like you need to have some self-respect and find some self-love and realize that you are better than that. But no, this ain't it. I take back the last 5-8 minutes of everything I said for this woman. She dated a married man. She gets everything that's coming to her. Every cent of it. Every cent of it. But I noticed that their answer is not like, hey, maybe you shouldn't mess around with married men. And she finishes off, there's a popular saying, if he wants to, he will. Your boyfriend doesn't seem to be trying. The fact that he isn't actively pursuing his divorce himself is a pretty big red flag for me. Why is he comfortable being married to his ex? Beside that, though, there are other issues at hand. Your boyfriend doesn't seem to appreciate or respect you. He brushes you off. He calls you crazy and fails to establish basic communication. If he's willing to hear you out for those past 2 years, unfortunately, I don't think this is changing anytime soon. That is the softest, nicest, weakest, most BS way of saying you are stupid, you're being manipulated, move on in your life. But you're dating a married man. So I retract any of my sympathy for you. All right, let's do another dating profile. I know some of you like the music, so maybe I'll throw the music in over the dating profile on this one. I'll just turn that down just a little bit so it's not too loud. But what brought this to mind is because this gal, without the blur, she's cute. I'll be honest. She was cute. She's 20, but she had the nose piercing. She had the ear gauges. She had a lip piercing, but she was a very pretty girl. Inmate supervisor at county jail. That right there, that's a warning sign. That is a warning sign. I never used to think that way until I read the percentages of women that work in these county jails. The number of women that end up hooking up with the dudes in the jail and getting in trouble for it. So that, to me, and that's probably also a woman that likes to have a little bit of control. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes people that, psychologists, doctors, police officers, paramedics, firefighters. And again, I'm not saying all. I've met many that are very normal, healthy, awesome people. But sometimes people that do have a little bit of issues that like to control other people will get in positions where they're either saving somebody or they're protecting somebody or they're controlling somebody. That's just a little bit of a red flag. Again, not 100% or even 40% or 20%. I'm just saying that's something to be aware of, especially a woman working in a jail. Let's see. I forgot to blur out where she worked, but I blurred out her name and her face, so good enough. She says, "I only like white guys."
Classic move. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's kind of racist. If you're a black dude, do not text me, parentheses, seriously. Here's the thing. Let me stop the music for a second. Here's the thing. Even if you have preferences, which we all do, you don't have to, even if it's a racial preference, you don't have to put it on your dating app. I mean, you don't have to put it here in words. You know, you can let guys swipe on you and then you just ignore them if they're not your type. But this is what happens when these women make grocery lists. If you're not 6 foot tall, if you're not this, if you're not this, if you're not this, if you're not, don't bother. Because they're trying to weed out any of you lesser thans from, don't bother me. I only want the people that I choose to message me. I'm sorry, but that's not how this works. Not if you're a good person. If you're a good person, you say, hey, message me. Let's talk. And you know what? I have dated women that many people, I mean, there was a woman I dated who was like 5'11" or 6 foot tall. That's like half a foot taller than Joker. She was like, I think I'm 5'6" or 5'6", 5'7", something like that. I haven't measured myself in a while. And as I age, I'll shrink down till I'm like 5'1", because that's what old people do. I've got hopefully 40, 50 years before that happens. I dated a woman who was 6 foot tall. I've dated women that were like 4'11" or 5 foot. Doesn't matter. Now, people do have preferences, but when you start making these grocery lists, that's a bad thing. And here's the fact. I'm sorry, but if you're just going to straight out say, like, I don't date someone of X race, keep that in your head. Like, keep that stuff in your head. Because honestly, it makes you, to me, it makes you sound racist. It just does. She says, I work a lot. Intimate supervisor. No, I'm kidding. It says inmate supervisor. But as an inmate supervisor, I still think intimate supervisor because she's an attractive woman and you know she's going to get a lot of attention from those dudes in jail. Single, not looking to hook up at all. Probably because she gets all her D at work at the prison. I have piercings, gauges, and tattoos. I wonder how she gets through a metal detector. I'm always curious when they have all that stuff. MUA, with a lipstick thing. I always forget what these acronyms stand for. I don't know what MUA stands for. Maybe she belongs to the Multiple User Association. I could see that for one. Business owner. Serious inquiries only. And here's the best part. Because y'all so annoying. You men are so annoying. Don't annoy me unless it's a serious inquiry. Also, I'm kind of racist. And here's the thing. She's mocha skinned. Let me just, I mean, you can probably tell from the blurring. She's got a little bit of, you know, pigmentation. So I find it just really strange that it's like she's just not, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, guys, remember, if you are in a place, let me just say this, if you are in a place where you are being taken advantage of, where you feel they're not putting the effort in you need, where you feel like you got to jump through the hoops, you got to chase after them, you feel bad for it not working out, you're being manipulated. Get the hell out of there, ASAP. And if you're doing that with a married woman or married man, you get everything that you asked for.